Without further ado, our guest speaker here is Ellie Rose. I'm going to see if I can't highlight you here.
Hello.
Hey. Ellie's, I'll let you introduce yourself, a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, hi, I am Ellie. I work at Pax Family Counseling, downtown Vancouver, as a mental health counselor there. I just moved to Vancouver this summer, but I was born and raised here, so it's kind of like coming back to my roots. So I'm super happy to be back in town. And I see individuals, teens, adults, couples. I don't do super awesome with like 3-year-olds because I'm not a very good colorer, but other people are. So I'm here to talk just a little bit about what to do when you feel really crappy with COVID and the weather and all those things. Ryan, am I just going into it, or?
That is why you were here. So as we explained in the beginning, that's kind of what our topic is for tonight. And so like, how do we, how can we relate to that as far as like how we can lean into as healthy people, but also as Christians, what are things that we can rely on as far as to kind of help us grapple with themes that are very common now with seasonal depression, compounded, as we said, sandwiched with the COVID, isolation can also make that a lot worse. So yeah, we're looking for ways to help combat that, or strategies and any kind of tips.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I don't need to see everybody's faces. That's fine. I assume there's humans behind those black boxes with letters. But I have seven ways to kind of combat this really difficult time that we're all in. And I'll get into just a little bit of those. If you hear thumps and bumps in my house, I have kittens that are insane. And that's what that is. So yeah, everybody's suffering right now. Everybody is feeling anxiety. Everybody's feeling depressed. It's just to what degree. And knowing those feelings in your body, it usually shows up in your body first, right? So I'm sure everybody here knows what it feels like when you just kind of have like this sick, like tense feeling in your chest. Maybe your heart's beating fast. Maybe you just feel like really antsy and restless. Your jaw might clench or your ears burn. These are all symptoms. Anxiety very often shows up in the body first. And depression and anxiety, they're like best friends. They're like cousins. They often go hand in hand. The first thing you can do is light. Get any amount of light in your life that you can. It's super cold outside, but if you can bundle up and even just sit on your porch and let just that white light, even if the sun's not out, just hit you and stay there for a minute. There's real like biological benefits to helping, set those brain waves up for what we need. All over on Amazon and stuff, people buy, I don't know if any of you have ever seen these light boxes. They have spectrum light boxes, like a light lamp, mental health light lamps you can get for your room that kind of mimics the rays of the sun. Because the low light levels of where we live in the Northern Hemisphere really makes it why we have way more depressed people than, everybody in San Diego. So getting more light in your life, that's a big deal. And it's not to be taken lightly, honey. So where you can incorporate it, I would encourage you to do that. And again, like these fluorescent lights, mine are super wonky shaped. I don't know who did that. I look like I live in a spaceship. But normal people have good lighting, hopefully. But the best kind of light possible is natural light, even if the sun's not out. So that's item number 1, is bring more light into your life. And the next 2 tips I have, these 2 things combined would put like 50% of therapists out of money. I'm going to tell you like all the best hacks to avoid like spending money on therapy. Super easy. Number 1, get good sleep. Just get good sleep. And that sounds hard to do sometimes. It's very basic, very easy. But your brain, goes 100 miles an hour sometimes. So just creating really good rhythms and habits to help your body know when it's time to go to bed. That means like not having your phone in bed at like 2 a.m. It's probably not going to help your brain settle down. Whenever you can prioritize your sleep, your whole body will benefit. Like that's the baseline for so many mental health issues. Like every part of you is going to be suffering if you're getting really crummy sleep. So if that means having strong boundaries and saying to your buddy at like midnight, dude, I'm done with Call of Duty for now. I got to get some sleep. you know, whatever you need to do to make sure that you're getting some solid sleep. And teenagers need more sleep than the rest of us. So you guys are like priority number one on, I need my hours, you know? So I would encourage sleep whenever you can. No, that came out wrong. Not whenever you can. I mean, improving your quality of sleep. Let's put it that way. And the next one is, this is the other thing that would put so many therapists out of business, is exercise. You don't need to be like a gym rat. No gyms are open anyway. You don't need to be running marathons, but even going on a brisk, like 10-minute walk will really like boost those levels of like serotonin that can be running through your brain and your mind. Just getting that fresh air. It's going to help all the systems in your body just smooth out that anxiety and depression. It sounds super awful. Like right now I'm looking outside, I'm like, I really don't want to go for a walk. It's cold, it's annoying. I want to sit on my couch and see what's on Netflix. That's what I want to do. But I know if I go out there for 10 minutes, bundle up and just like walk really briskly around my block, I'm going to be feeling a lot better. My blood's going to be pumping. Everything's going to like feel a little bit better when I settle down. So exercise is absolutely fundamental to mental health. With that, you know, making sure you're getting your vitamins. I'm not technically allowed to tell you like, oh, go take vitamins, but I would encourage you to talk to your parents about making sure you're getting like enough vitamin D and B. Okay, and here's one super weird hack that nobody wants to hear. And I'm going to be super impressed if anybody actually does this, because it's a very, very strong treatment of sorts against depression. Okay, and that's taking a cold shower in December. Like, who has the guts for that? It's like, nope. I mean, seriously, I gave up hot water for Lent once, and then like on day 2, I was like, no, God, I take it back. Like I'm doing something else. But honestly, cold showers like that, there's something bizarre, but there's science behind it. Even if you start out taking like your hot shower and then at the very last like 3 minutes, blast yourself with cold water, that can help your body like get these neurons going that really help to keep depression at bay. There's stuff all over online. What's that dude's name? It's like Wim Hof, I think. Like people who live in Norway and take ice baths and stuff. Like, I'm not saying do that, but cold water on your body is really effective for helping to keep depression at bay. Okay, the 4th tip I have, this is interesting. This is beauty. French philosopher Simone Weil, she said something really extraordinary, and she said there's only 2 things that can pierce the human heart to like really deep levels. And number 1 is pain. So if you feel like you're going through a really hard time or in a really deep, dark depression, and the other thing that can pierce that same heart is beauty. So to the degree that you feel pain or depression in your life, you have to balance it out with beauty. If this means like putting on your awesome playlist of music, beauty for your ears. I'm sorry, they are insane, seriously. And another one is like making sure you're exposed to beautiful things. We can't like go walk in art galleries right now. But if there's any way, if you can go outside, if you have a hummingbird feeder and can see like hummingbirds coming, like it sounds kind of cheesy, but just taking a minute to appreciate the beautiful things around you. It includes touch, having like nice cotton sheets, for example. Any way that you can bring beauty to your life will severely impact in a positive way all mental health issues. There's science behind like even looking at running water can help anxiety. So that's really cool. Number 5 is protect your peace. And this is hard because look, like my phone's right here and I'm as bad as everybody, you know, you wanting to get on your phone, you want to scroll through your feed, whatever you got to do. But taking time where you have a sacred space that no one gets to text you, no one gets to DM you. It's grab a cup of tea, take 5 minutes to breathe if you need to, setting aside all those distractions. Also a really, really fantastic book that's super easy and short to read is by Father Jacques Philippe. And it's called Searching for and Maintaining Peace. If anyone looks it up, it's got like a cheesy pink cover. And I think I've seen it in the St. Joe's bookstore before, but I don't know if that's even open right now. But it's called Searching for and Maintaining Peace, and it is extraordinary. I've read it 4 times. I read it like every other year because it's just so good for helping you to stay calm when the world seems to be falling apart around you. Number 6 is gratitude. Gratitude journaling. Science shows that when we take time to appreciate the things that we do have in our life, it can help kind of train our brains to look for stuff. And when I was going through a really hard time in my own life, like the deepest, darkest years, and the therapist that I was seeing, she encouraged me to start gratitude journaling. And I was super whiny about it. I was like, I'm thankful for my family, fine. I'm thankful for my faith, like boring. But the more like I forced myself into that habit and I was writing it, eventually I knew each day, I was like, okay, well, I got to find 10 new things to be thankful for. So it trained my brain to start looking for the blessings in my life. And they're there, even if they're little. I can remember like taking a hot shower and going, oh my gosh, I live in a time in the world where there's hot water. Like I would suck as a pioneer. I'd be the world's worst pioneer. But I have hot water. It's amazing. And who stops to think about how grateful we are for hot water? Like that's what the gift of like gratitude journaling can do for you. It can help you kind of reset what it means to be happy by looking for small things that really contribute to our happiness, ways that we don't recognize. I have awesome coffee in my house. That makes me really happy. There's a lot of things I don't have, but I have good coffee and hot water. So that's all I need in life. And the last one, this is a trick. This is, I want to teach you guys a combat veteran trick, a trauma victim trick. This is called box breathing. And this is for people who really suffer from anxiety or who are feeling really like pent up about a situation. It's the same kind of thing soldiers would do in combat if they're feeling those, like I said, those symptoms in your body that are like, you're starting to feel amped up and like anxiety. If you're in a situation that you're really scared about or feeling really nervous to go into, this can help slow your brain down. And it's just taking the time to do it. So if everybody wants to take a minute to do this with me, I'll teach you. And it has 4 parts. So people call them 4 counts or box breathing. And the idea is we're going to inhale for 4 seconds, and then you hold that breath for 4 seconds. And then the exhale takes 4 seconds long. And then there's a dead space for 4 seconds before we repeat it. So we'll go through 2 cycles. So let's do that. So if you guys want to practice it, you can close your eyes or you can be behind your black box screen, whatever you do. I'm just going to do it. So we're going to inhale slowly. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a slow exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that dead space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to repeat it. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that dead space. 1, 2, 3, 4. The thing I like about this trick is that you can do it anywhere at any time, and you can use it you can do as many rounds of it as you want. My kids have seen me like standing in my kitchen, and I put my hand like one on my belly and one up here because it just connects me with my body a little bit. And I'll be standing there as like I'm making them. They're like, "Oh, mom's doing her breathing thing." So I'm like, "Everybody, be quiet!" Shh. And so I have to do my breathing. And we always hear like if somebody's crying or panicking, you hear people like in media and on movies stuff saying like, "Take a deep breath, take a deep breath, take a deep breath." Well, that's not what our bodies actually need. What our bodies need is to take a slow breath. Take a slow breath and to slow the heart rate down, to settle down those brain waves that have kind of like flipped their lid and have amped up. And what box breathing will do is kind of reset that and bring you back down to a place of kind of centeredness. So that's my tip on that. That's all I got for now. Does anybody have any questions or concerns? Oh, the last thing I was going to say, if you're super depressed or anxious, like, don't suffer alone. Speak out to a close friend, a parent, talk to a counselor if you can, but you shouldn't be suffering in silence if it gets really bad, you know? So talk to Ryan. He wants to hear all about it. I mean, that's all I have.